course, we be really making plays. She don't really want no beef if she can't say it to my face. Girl, that man was never mine, I just was going through a phase. So please control your hoe before I put it in her place. Who you think you is, babe? I'm who they wanna be. Got that apple bottom falling out my jeans like it's a tree. Diamonds yellow, bitches think they sippin' tea, but girl, it's pee. Got the game on lock, so who you know could really fuck with me? Spanish poppy, when we talking, I'm bilingual. Don't worry about them other niggas, babe, I'm single. All these bitches wanna copy me like Kinko. Bad bitch posted with me, who is that? That's my amigo. Beat up, got the neighbors in here knocking on the floor. Time to heat up, baby, see her when she walking through the door. If he ain't spending, she could have him, man, that nigga gotta go. See that it's up, but they still counting all this money on the floor. We been balling off the course, we be really making plays. She don't really want no beef if she can't say it to my face. Girl, that man was never mine, I just was going through a phase. So please control your hoe before I put it in her place.
A low pall falls over an evening, slowly turning to what looks to be the first rays of morning. Many around the city are still long asleep. However, others are beginning and continuing to stir. In particular, the ever-busy docks continue to move. It, however, is about to come alive in a way I think few stationed here are truly prepared for. Good morning, afternoon, and or evening, ladies, gents, and all those in between and beyond the binary of the internet. Welcome back to Neolites Roleplay, and more specifically, welcome back to Jump City Sirens, our little masked adventure for all of you. I'm your host for the duration of stream. I go by Foxy and use the he, they pronouns, and I am blessed with an incredible table of wonderfully superpowered souls who are here to save New Jump City and bring forward the progress it needs. I could tell you all about their escapades and their epic tales, but I think they might be better off doing that for themselves. So, in the order I call you out, players, please tell me who you are, who you're playing today, where you can be found on the internet, and how you're feeling for our third episode. Let's start with the internet sensation, dare I say giant, that is known simply as the legendary Vern.
Oh, hey, I guess I'm a giant. I'm not that tall. Maybe 5'10".
It's just this Turk is so tiny.
Yeah, it's just the Turk is so small, I look huge.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it. No, you're correct. Like, why would... Anyway, hi, I'm Legendary Vermin. Tonight I'm playing Cassandra Dracos, aka Cass, aka Hecate. She is... her playbook is burdened by expectations, trademark.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Also, she does portals and shadows.
That's the full burdened by expectations, and also she does portals. Trademark. That's the comic title, right? That's the spin-off solo comic. That's what that's called. Before we get you printed for your solo comic run, let's introduce the rest of your cast along with, shall we? Moving along to, of course, a Neon Lights regular one. We've been glad to have graced our stage many a time, and I'm glad to bring them back for this incredible campaign. I'm talking, of course, about the mother of horrors herself, Meg Mysteria.
Hello, everybody. I am Meg and/or Meg Mysteria. As you said, the mother of horrors. Anyway,
I don't know what the hands
I don't know. I was following your lead. Anyway, I am playing Melina Dracos, otherwise known as Mel, also known as Medusa. I am also playing a version of Burdened by Expectations. Not
Your
really.
own more than anybody else's, but like
In
also
my own.
those.
Also.
I realize how broadly applicable that is to the playbooks in this game only after I said it, but
It's kind of all of you, low-key, but we'll deal with that later.
I was like, wait, I really
yours is the trademarked version.
Yeah, true.
All of you are the knockoffs.
Yeah.
Better known as the Beacon. I'm trying to prove something to myself and everybody else around me. But and I do acrobatics and use swords. For now.
And that's it. And only that. Well,
Only
happy
that.
to have you on board, Mel, and to offer any ominous suggestions for what could happen in the future. But before I get to that, moving it on along then, coming over to someone very near and dear to my own heart, someone who, if you've been keeping an eye, have been making a bit of a rising star for themselves in the Neon Lights roleplay community, and hopefully will only continue to do so in the future. I'm talking, of course, about the most expensive egg on your grocery shelf. It's Egg.
Hey, you stole my tagline! It's me, Emily, or Egg-chan. Tonight I'm playing Suchi Chow, also known as Number 5, playing the Soldier Playbook. They're oblivious and naive, and oh boy, when will the veil tear? I don't know, but it'll be a damn good time when it does.
Hard to. I mean, what? Well,
I don't
Suchi,
hear
I
it.
look forward to showing you the realities of the organization that you face, but that will all, like everything else, come with time. Last but certainly very far from least, if you know anything about anyone who's anyone, someone who is new to this game, but certainly not new to this channel if you are aware of anybody. I'm talking, of course, about the internet sensation that is Ollie P. Senpai.
Ollie P. Senpai. I'm playing Aurelia Morphine today. They are the outsider, and they're better than everybody.
I mean, the numbers don't lie, you know?
Yeah, I'm just being a little humble.
Just a little bit.
Listen.
Well, I look forward to letting you show your incredibly humble persona as the evening carries on. That said, and with nothing else aside, I want to offer you all a brief warning that tonight's story is one ultimately of bringing forward the future, but the future can only come through adversity. Tonight's adversity will include things that may be difficult for some to witness. If you find yourself a bit squeamish by things such as the innocent being threatened by potential violence and or danger, by those who challenge that danger being similarly threatened themselves, or by the world being shaped by hostile forces, you may find this program a little bit too extreme occasionally. If you find that being the case, please feel free to close the comic, put it back on the shelf, and step away for a little bit for something a bit more cozy, and we hope to find you back here in the life for something else a bit more extreme. My blabbering aside, let's set the scene. We rejoin not our heroes first, but instead find ourselves back in what looks to be a relatively run-down home. The walls dilapidated and barely held together. Several individuals are stationed around, waiting and watching. Individuals of various look and ilk, all seeming to stand with everything from dispassionate care to bored cynicism. And as one amongst their number re-enters the room, arms crossed, Jet speaks to his compatriots. Well, that's one step down. You all know what happens next, right? Uplink peeks her head up from a tablet and says, well, now things get fun, right? Putting it mildly. You all should get back to your stations. Stay ready. I'll call for you when you... Oh, hold on. Uplink says again. Something just tripped the proximity alarm about a couple miles out. Definitely altered by the structure. Multiple of them. Heroes, probably? And there's company. All right, gang. On your feet. Let's go make some trouble. And with that, the scene fades back to a rooftop experience. The evening being carried by our 5 heroes, our 5 Jump City Sirens, gathered together on a routine intel gathering mission turned hunt for what looks to be nefarious villains. You have a trail to follow, friends, and have found yourself with the fortune of being assembled as 5, though there is tension in the air. I leave the scene with you all as we rejoin you on the approach towards the docks. You could smell the salt from the seawater already as you approach, and while the city is quiet, it is not asleep. You still see occasional cars whizzing by and small signs of conversation, lights still on from buildings. The city of New Jump City never really seems to go perfectly still. That said, and again, my blabbering aside, I pass it back to you. Darlings, as I am so fond to say, the scene is yours.
I feel like the way that that Hecate would approach situations like this as like, if we're going into any kind of unknown situation, she wants to get as high up as possible. So if there's like, you know, those like dinosaur-looking cranes that are out by docks, she's probably on the neck of one of those, just trying to get a bird's eye view, stepping through a portal, even.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Are we close to the water?
Close enough. There's still obviously the structure of the docks itself separating the actual water line from you, but you're close enough that you could again smell that salt sea. And if you look off to your left or right, if you're like on a rooftop, you can certainly clearly see the large bays that surrounds the sort of like eastern side of or I guess the western side of New Jump City.
Okay. I think if that's the case, Aurelia would probably like turn into a seagull or something and scout out the area. Similarly to what Hecate would do, but I think just more from like an overall vantage point in that sense. Because prior they were looking for something. But without telling anybody, because who needs to know her plans?
Fair enough. As Hecate,
I am begrudging of that. Excuse me. We have protocols here.
As Hecate warps into shadow atop a crane and begins to look out over the evening sky, Seagull almost inconspicuously circles above, keeping a bird's eye view, quite literally, over the area around. Where are other two heroes found?
Mel would probably take to the ground as they get closer, trying to get sense of more movement. And, you know, if anyone is actually moving around, then she'd be close enough to like probably get an ear on it.
Similarly, I think Fives has not transformed yet. They're sticking to their human form to try to remain a little more inconspicuous until we figure out exactly where our target is.
Interesting. Then as the two of you slink along the ground, I'll make you aware of a couple things, and I have a quick question for you. Actually, two questions, actually. One, again, like I mentioned, the dock isn't completely quiet. There are skeleton crew or graveyard shift workers doing small bits of hauling and resupply for certain vessels that are in the harbor. And while it's sparse enough that like you can move around without knowing there are going to be eyes on you 24/7, there certainly are bits of humanity sprinkled here or there as you move throughout the docks that you can keenly become aware of. Outside of that, the docks are a weird case. Along the water line, separate from the docks, you have a lot of older neighborhoods that haven't quite been given the same, let's say, zhuzh as other parts of New Jump City. And so you find some, I guess, let's say, like lower class, lower income neighborhoods kind of circling around the docks to the left side. And while they are bordered by what look like much more pristine, dockyard residences and office buildings and things like that, there is a very clear line around a main street that almost separates these two. And it's pretty easy to sort of keep an eye on anybody around you, make your way around, and you're almost certain that if you were looking for anything, it's not going to be in that dockyard kind of residence area because those buildings are a bit too high and square. If anyone was trying to be inconspicuous around there, they'd have to be either on the rooftops or in an alley, which would be a lot easier for you to see from either above or from where you came from. So they probably moved into that older residential area and are likely holed up somewhere there, is the sense that I'd say just about all four of you get. Two questions, though. For our two who are on the ground, one, are you walking together?
I would be happy to be together. But I also know I don't want to impinge on your, freedom and liberties.
Mel?
Rephrase what the question was.
Are you walking together with Zuchi right now. They haven't transformed. They're still in their human-esque form. So are you both walking together while you're kind of like scoping the ground out, or are you like doing your own things in separate locations?
If they want to stick together, we can. But if they want to like be apart and kind of do their own investigation, then she's for that.
I'll go with
Y'all
you.
moving together then.
Okay.
In that case, second question, Zuchi, do you have your Nova uniform on right now?
Probably yes. I imagine it's like a dark gray.
Mhm.
And it probably has like a couple Nova identifiers on it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's honestly not too different from the suit you saw Sable fighting in last episode. You know, very much like dark black and gray sort of padded plating and sort of like netted mesh. You know, designed to kind of like operate very stealthily and efficiently. You know, when you're in the field, maybe some like pockets and like satchels for if you need to store anything. And you know that symbol of like the arrow overlooking the world in a few places, just kind of recognize you as Nova. Thank you for letting me aware of that. Just keeping that in mind for establishing the visual. So I'll assume one, because we have, this is a world where modern phones exist. You all can still keep in contact via like text or phone call or voice message or whatever you want, even as you're separated. Aurelia might be a bit harder because she's a bird right now. But otherwise, I'll leave you all in the scene for a bit if anything you want to discuss or coordinate any plans or figure out things or pass information.
I think one of the things that I'm trying to do is find out if there's like any obvious patrols where we're headed, whether or not there's a good foot route specifically for Mel to traverse. Like I want that like bird's eye view of the situation, so that I can help coordinate.
Well, in that case, no, I won't even make this a roll. I think this is a thing that you've actually
Make it a
probably
roll.
been. Are you sure?
I have a condition that applies here.
All right then. Please roll to assess the situation. If you could roll plus superior for me, thanks.
Great. Rolling with a -2.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear, I
Condition.
rolled a 1.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Well, on a miss, I think, Cass, it's not that you aren't able to get a picture of what's around you. I think it's more what you get a picture of that kind of makes it a bit hard to properly plan out. As you're looking over the night sky and seeing the area around you, you recognize that if this is going to turn into a fight, which, assuming you're going to meet villains, it probably is going to, you really have about two options. One, you keep it an open brawl on the main street where you have lots of space to move and negotiate, and it's hard for anybody to slip away or separate each other for things like that, which is, of course, going to make for, people who need to move in the open or need lots of space to move. Great. However, you're not going to have things like easy access to elevation. So if someone is flying, for example, someone like Mel couldn't easily get to them on the ground because there's nothing to easily, get themselves up there. The other option is, and this may or may not be in your control depending on how things go, is the fight ends up somewhere in the docks. Which case there's a lot more built up cranes and structures and bypasses you can, make use for mobility and maneuvering. But that is a much more built up area and will definitely cause more collateral from while you're fighting in there.
I assume this is a dock with like big steel shipping containers and shit.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All the dock classics, big shipping containers, cranes all over the place, a random boat that nobody's crewing right now, forklifts, a warehouse or two probably. It's all there. It's all there. It's all there.
As somebody in a dock city, hell yeah.
Philly also has we have a shipyard. We don't have a dock necessarily. Maybe we also have a dock. We have a port. Anyway,
We got one of the largest shipping ports on the West Coast.
Congrats.
Size up.
That's a flex.
You wouldn't believe the size of our shipping ports. straight of
Congrats.
Wandafuka. It'll make you guess twice.
Well, the girth of Vermin's local shipping port aside, that's, I think, the picture you're getting as you're looking at things, Cass. And I think the reason why you're getting a bit shook is that you're realizing that, like, those are your two options for where the fight happens, and it very much might not be in you guys' hands how that, like, where the fight breaks out or where it stays at. Fucking love this track.
Not a lot of good options here in terms of where we tackle any fight that might break out. Have we got a preference for streets or in and amongst the shipping containers?
Well, you know, with my size, a little more space is preferable, but as long as there's no civilians.
I don't know that we can guarantee that either way. Out on the streets, there's going to be people coming out of their homes, and we'll be on the street front. There's apartments there. If there are people in the docks, well, I worry we wouldn't see them until it was too late. A lot of tight corners. Foxy said that you know. I assume that at some point Cass has just gotten us earpieces for this kind of thing, and we have
Totally fine.
the superhero secure network. We've all got a channel, and then I assume Aurelia just cheats and links
Her
into
brain
that.
into radio frequency, that's all.
Yeah, just shapeshifts to receive the appropriate signal.
By the rules of PBTA, you have said it, and therefore it is true.
If that's cool with you, Aurelia.
I mean, that sounds cool as fuck. I was also like,
Makes sense.
what if she could also detect energy? But I'm like, I don't know.
Can she?
Well, like, what is, like, signals and radio waves if not just different energy frequencies? Like,
So
your energy. So,
Ruth.
that's what I'm saying, and that's why I'm like, I don't want to go beyond the means of the book, but I feel like it would almost be included in Aurelia, who can take energy from like the surroundings to charge, and she's made of it to be able to detect energy as well.
I don't see why not.
Okay, cool, thank you. I'm sorry. Anybody else objects to that?
Nope.
No. I think depending on what you're trying to do, it's probably like an unleash your powers, but like, hell yeah, do it.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so maybe unleash her powers, but also in the same vein of like assessing the situation if it's something kind of innate to her. In trying to find if there are like any energy readings of the people that she was looking for prior, especially since she had that like one-on-one time or like two-on-one time with Grayson, the child, because Mel was there too. But Mel is someone familiar to her, so I don't think like Aurelia would be confused.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's an absolute argument for you to be able to use that ability if you need to. I think before I make you do any rolling for checking for energy sources, I do want to see if anybody else wants to like chime into like Cass's battle planning or strategizing. I think that's a fun scene to live in for a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Do you think I got distracted?
You're fine. You had a
Happens
relevant point to
to
bring up, and I
it's
appreciate
fine.
it.
My ADHD got go burr like
You're
so
good, you're
hard.
good.
You're so good.
Belle's just gonna chime in and say I can work in either space. I can focus on making sure civilians stay out of the way.
Plan for the fence?
Yeah.
What is it? Sorry, that's Cass asking what your plan to get over the fence is. I assume that the
An
shipping-
actual fence?
Yeah, most like shipyards or train stations are like barbed wire fenced.
They are infenced, indeed.
You probably like I imagine you have the strategies for this that you've done before. I just don't know. That feels like something that Cass would ask before we launch into something. Something overprotected big sister.
So when you get to a corner with a wall, scale the fence most of the way and then angle the corner to hop over the barbed wire.
Okie dokie. So it'll happen where it happens.
I'll watch my step in that case.
I can't see any areas of high activity. I'm not sure exactly what we're looking for here.
That's actually a great time to tap back in over to Aurelia. Aurelia, if you want to give me an unleash your powers real quick, for just to give me a sense of just so you can get a sense of what's happening. I think this is actually, if you will, I think narratively this is you kind of like testing out this energy sensing. It's maybe a thing you've kind of only really recently figured out you could do, and so it's kind of you like seeing how you can get a sense for it right now, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So you're going to roll, if I remember, it's going to be plus freak.
Freak. I'm freaky.
You gotta freak it.
I got 7.
With a 7, you can either mark a condition, or you can let me tell you how your effect is temporary or unstable.
Wait, is that good or really? I failed with a 7.
No, it's a
Mixed success.
yeah. You'll get the thing you want. It's just a matter of like, do you want a mark a condition, or do you want me to tell you how the effect is temporary or unstable? Up to you.
I don't want a condition, especially going into battle. So I guess you could tell me how it's unstable, or the other word you used that I forgot.
Temporary. Absolutely, not a problem. So, Aurelia, you kind of attune your brain a bit, kind of overlay your vision and attune the way your brain is looking at things as you're perceiving the area around you, seeking out energy sources. And you don't really see much initially. You kind of attune yourself to like generalized life force, and you see these flickers of living energy all over the place, all over the area around you, all the sort of flickers of humanity all around. So you get a bit more specific. You tune yourself maybe towards altered if you can, but then you realize that that's not uniform, because while there are some altered who gain their power from things like magic or energy, others have it from quirks of their physiology, people like Zuchi, or from other things. And so unless someone's actively using their powers, it's a bit hard for you to find. Wait a minute. You swore. For just a moment, you swivel your head around. And there's 2 things you notice. One, you can see a collection of what looks like energy, for lack of a better term, a quick sweeping of energy, sort of like blow away from a particular, almost like unscrupulous building you see in the residential district. It sweeps away and almost blows away on the wind, and it's very hard to get a sense of it. But in the brief moment you feel that rush of energy pass, away, it is immense. There is so much presence of it, it just washes away. And even though you're not really certain, you definitely have a good sense that there's only one being you might think about right now who has that kind of power. I'll give you a guess if you want.
I think I know. Oh, it's the only person that might be better than me. But Relia doesn't think that.
The energy does dissipate, though. It doesn't stick around. It's gone. Like, it fleets away.
Okay. So I think Aurelia would find a nice, safe area, where she could turn back into herself that wouldn't be seen from like the general direction of where this energy came from, and kind of tap in with, or like talk to the others, because she was kind of ignoring everything that they were talking about prior because she doesn't care.
We're talking about battle strategies and she doesn't care.
Any fucking way.
If she gotta fight, she gotta fight. It doesn't matter where she fights. Well, actually, she would like to be seen less, so maybe she would have said something, but she doesn't care enough, actually. So she goes into, I'm assuming, like a rooftop off of a tall building that most people cannot see her from, and she goes into her headpiece and she says, I got a reading of immense power from this general direction. I think this is what we were looking for. It was there for a second, but then it left. But something tells me this is something that we should look into.
Onward then?
Yeah, Cass steps forward off the edge of the crane and is near the two of you. Moving forward.
Nice of you
Aurelia,
to join
do you
us.
also rejoin the group? Sorry.
Yeah, I guess.
It's up to you, love. I'm just asking.
Oh,
Yeah.
like, you can also seagull beacon us.
True.
Oh,
Yeah, we can be coming to wherever you're circling.
oh yeah, I
You're
don't
North
know.
Star.
I guess you could. That's a good idea. I guess you could do that. Just kind of, I think, in the general area, but not directly on top of where she wants to go. Like, you guys can tell that the seagull's acting a little oddly, so you're assuming it's Aurelia. But she doesn't want to get too close to the people just for fear that what if somebody has similar capabilities or can detect her before anybody else can.
Are you made of like light or just energy?
Energy.
Okay.
But it lights up a room if she's like in her true
Okay.
form.
He goes Super Saiyan. I mean, what?
Like, yeah, when she was summoned, it was almost like blinding to the people in the room. But I think she never checked in on them again.
Fair enough.
Why
So,
would you?
I think, Aurelia, as you're transforming back, the rest of the group is assembling, kind of like you're able to kind of like, drop down a fire escape from the building you landed on top of, and kind of the group, regroups with you almost like just outside of the alleyway from the building you are. So you guys are currently sort of on the main street off to a side. There's a few people either, hanging outside their houses or on their way in or out and some various things, parking their cars. But it's, again, mostly sparse. Very few people out and about as you all kind of gather up and sort of, begin to prepare yourselves and look to assemble. Zuchi,
I do this as a bird.
if you want, you can. I mean, you mentioned you transform back, so I assume you transform back.
So I think I transform back so I could talk to them with the earpiece. I mean, I could do it as a seagull, but it's a little weird. And then I went back to the seagull to kind of guide them, but not too close to the area so nobody else can detect her. Or like covertly.
Mm-hmm.
So she just looks like a weird ass seagull to anybody who doesn't know.
Fair enough. Then, as our three heroes plus one seagull assembles, two things happen. One, you all realize that kind of bringing up the rear, but kind of lazily walking up to the group of the four of you, is Cleo. She's popping some gum in her mouth and looks really bored with everything, but is just kind of walking up behind the four of you and just, hey. Got lost for a bit. What's up?
Decent time.
Yeah, my bad. Alright, we find these villains or whatever?
We have what we think is a good lead on them.
Mel, you see him first. Comes around the corner from a side alleyway, hands in his hoodie pockets, long, loping strides, and that ever-annoying half-smirk on his face. Dark hair framing a relatively tan mahogany face as it kind of falls in a mop about his head. This is Jet, someone you have all encountered at least a few times. The leader of the Cypress League. Behind him comes, or rather lumbers, a large, almost serpent-like humanoid figure, bristling with spines where there should be hair. Scylla. Next to her, a man hobbles on a cane, huddled over and smaller than he should be, a hood pulled so far over his face you can't really see any defining features, but the skin that shows on his gnarled hands is covered in strange black tattoos. Animus. And then almost bubbly, so they all turn and stop. Jet locks eyes with you now. Well. What could we find on an evening walk? And then just behind Jet, almost over his shoulders, a younger girl in kind of like a almost hooded scarf comes up and waves a hand. OMG, hi, girls! This is Uplink, a member of the Cypress League who doesn't often take to the field, but who you've dealt with before a couple times.
She's way too excited for this.
She pops over from a side of Jet's shoulder and just, it has been so long since I have got to see you guys, and we have not gotten to hang out. There are so many things to catch up on. How have you been?
I'm looking at
always
Cleo
like this.
Oh yeah, she is literally always like this.
Would this be Aurelia's first time meeting her?
That might be.
Actually, you're right. So after a moment, she kind of looks and just like, it has been so long since we've... I don't think and she kind of flips and you'll see her hand come up and it almost goes over her face and then the hand opens up with like a sort of holographic screen in the middle. It centers over her eye and you'll see an overlay kind of, well, the camera will show an overlay go over her sort of own vision as she assesses you for a brief bit. What in all the graces are you?
I'm not too sure of customs around here, but I don't believe that's a kind question to ask.
She brings it back in. You're right. I'm so sorry. I'm Uplink,
Yes, can you
and it's
muzzle
great
her?
to meet you. What's your name?
I don't know if this is a time for introductions either.
It's always fighting and fine. Jet, do the thing.
So is it Jet and Jay, or is it just Jet?
It's just Jet.
Okay.
I think you said Jay when they walked up.
Oh, whoops.
Look, Jet. This can go easy or this can go hard. We know that you have a crate here from a Nova compound. We know who delivered it. Turn it back over. This doesn't have to get complicated.
Crate's gone. Pretty. Sold it to somebody. Got a good price for it, too. As for
Nova will
this...
look a lot more kindly on somebody who cooperates, rather than causing more problems.
What are you, an agent now? The scaly one's got in your fucking head. You sound fucking ridiculous. You think I give a shit what those dumbass blowhards think?
Trust me when I say a hunted life is not one that you want.
Funny. I was gonna tell you all the same thing. As for how this goes, you don't have to worry about whether it's easy or hard. Last time we met, I had to fuck around for a bit. This time I'm gonna kick your ass.
I don't think you've felt the extent of our... And she'll kind of like crack her neck and turn towards, like incline her head towards Sichi and Mel. Cooperative abilities. You are not
Smart.
going to be the one enjoying this.
Jet gives a wide smile. All right then, let's fucking dance. And friends, I believe it's time to enter battle as a team.
Woo.
So,
Whee!
when you enter battle against the dangerous foe as a team, add 2 to the team pool. If the leader has influence over every teammate, add another team.
I don't think I do.
You have it over me.
I have influence over 2 people.
Oh.
Well then, if everyone has the same purpose in the fight, add another team.
Yes.
Do
I
we?
think so. Like, we're here to whoop their asses and figure out where that crate went. Right?
I think Aurelia is here for whatever y'all are here for, I guess. So I guess that works out.
Then the answer is yes. Add another one to the team pool. If any member of the team mistrusts the leader of the team, remove a team.
Hey,
What were you gonna say,
Morphine, how
Nick?
you feeling?
I mean, I don't think she mistrusts you. I think she trusts you. Okay, so I think she trusts you enough because you're the closest to a leader that they have, and she needs to listen to somebody because she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing here besides that. So I would say keep that team shit up.
All right then. If your team is ill-prepared or off balance, remove a team. Well, you're all here as 5, locked in, prepared, and ready to go. So it sounds like the team pool's staying up at 4, friends.
3.
No, it's 4.
Oh, no, 4.
we
Because you
had
were already
one
at
already.
1, and then you added 2 more, and then you added 1 more. So it should be 4, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because y'all were at 1 from last session, and time hasn't passed, so you're still at 1 team. So we're at 4 team then, friends. As you all square off in various hero poses, battle stances, and lock in, anybody want to give any narration as they take off into the fight? Anybody making the first move? Or is that left to my villains?
I think for me it would be left to the villains to make the first move, but I don't know if anybody else is gonna fight first.
I'm fine with the villains going first.
Well, as if answering that question, Uplink steps forward and just, ooh, me first. I have got so many tools. You guys have got to see. Check this one out. And she kind of leans into, into what looks like pulling out of a backpack, although she's not wearing a backpack at all. And she pulls out what look like 2 metal cubes, and she throws them up into the air, and they begin to rapidly expand, unfold, and reconfigure themselves until they land on the ground as 2 maybe 8 or 9 foot tall, giant humanoid robot figures with single eyes glowing red in the middle of their heads. That's Rodney. That's Jeffrey.
Can I act and respond?
Go.
Okay, cool. I don't want to just yoink the spotlight from you, but.
I mean, considering they're charging forward at you guys immediately, I recommend you do something.
Yeah, no, of course. I just wasn't sure if you had where you wanted to narrate. Upon seeing these big old bots, 5s will activate their transformation and grow in size a fair bit, not quite enough to match the scale of these robots. But she will snarl at Uplink and say, "Thanks for bringing someone more my size."
For a friend. 5s,
She'll take it.
why don't... 5s, are you assuming you're gonna jump in and start smashing up these bots, huh?
That's the goal.
Well, then why don't you roll for me to directly engage a threat?
Sick. That's a danger.
We'll assume narratively the rest of you all scatter as the rest of the Cypress League all jumps into action and into battle, and there are various scenes of combat happening all around us vaguely. You know, there's vague silhouettes drawn in the background of every panel so you can show that other people are fighting while we're focusing on one person at a time.
I'm down.
I got a hit! A number
on
9!
On a 9, pick one from this list. Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies. Impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I would like to create an opportunity for my team.
Well, then why don't you tell me what you do, and then afterwards you will take a powerful blow.
Like to... I would like to smack Jeffrey into Rodney in a way that will leave Uplink having to re-coordinate her bonds, kind of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fuck up them dry rows.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So then why don't, so as Five, you come up charging. I assume this looks like kind of like you grab, like, you know, Jeffrey comes swinging down with a large blocky arm, and you grab it with both arms, skirt back a bit, and then heave with all your effort and just pick him up off his feet, spin him in a full circle, and smash him back into Rodney. Both of them go flying back towards Uplink. Please roll to take a powerful blow.
Yeah, sounds good. I feel like there's a joke here to be made.
When you hit one motherfucker with the other motherfucker. I'm sorry. I was typing that out in chat. Like, literally. You're literally hitting one motherfucker with the other motherfucker.
But also, that's geek. I was gonna say, I don't trust him as far as I can throw, but I forgot my own strength. So let's see, that's a 9, plus I have 1 condition mark, so that is a 10.
Uh-oh. Choose
that's
one
bad.
immediately. You can either remove yourself from the situation, flee, pass out, etc., lose control of yourself or your powers and danger in a terrible way, or choose 2 options from the 7 and 9.
Guys, how bad is it if I collateral damage really hard?
We're in a residential
Are we-
district.
Yeah.
Name of the game.
Yeah. This happens.
I'm gonna throw Jeffrey into a crane
Absolutely.
and knock said crane over.
Uplink dives out of the way as a crane comes colliding and smashes into the street. Concrete, trees uprooted, smashed everywhere. Uplink, who had to literally dive roll out of the way, sort of like takes a bit of a leap, and you'll see, like again, out of her sort of like her feet and out of her back, small jets of blue flame begin to ignite, and she goes, "Oh boy, is Nova gonna pay for that?" As she says that, Five, you are free to, you know, take off and re-engage with her, obviously, as she opens up for a bit. Uplink, however, is free and in the sky. Who wants to take an opportunity to engage with her? It sounds like that's a good place to bring the action in.
I guess I can, because I'm the only one that can, like, fly.
Aurelia, how do you want to attack or engage
With
Uplink?
style.
You fall with style. I stay up, you know?
Always up.
Always up. If you stay up, you ain't gotta get up.
Always grinded. Forever in the zone.
Mutual.
Can like I assess if she's actually that much of a threat, like without her toys?
If you want to assess the situation, absolutely. I'll allow that.
Okay. I guess I could roll for that then.
Give me a plus superior roll, please.
I got an 8.
On a 7 and 9, ask one from this list. What here can I use to insert your own question? What here's the biggest threat? What here is in the greatest danger? Who here is the most vulnerable to me? How could we best end this quickly?
I guess how can we best end this quickly for Uplink?
So, what is she without her gadgets? Effectively nothing. The trouble is, she is the gadget. She's, again, she didn't pull out a device to scan you. Her hand literally opened up and became a scanning device. Uplink is infused with a techno-organic virus that she weaponizes and uses to create various gadgets and devices. She's also probably one of the smartest people on the planet. Aside from that, though, as for how you could best end this quickly, she's not a fighter. You need to make it very clear that you can get to her past all of her toys, and she's probably getting the fuck out of here.
Okay. I think Morphine or Aurelia would take that and just go head on and try to like knock her the fuck out in like a super cool way.
All right. Tell me what you want. What your goal is to do here. What are you trying to like? Well, yo, tell me narratively what happens here. What are you doing? How do you engage with
Yeah, is this just a cold clock?
Yeah, do you like... I mean, are you still a seagull? Like, what happens? What are you doing here? What's going on? Talk me
I
through
would
it.
say, she's not a seagull. I think since she talked to Uplink the first time, she wouldn't be a seagull. She'd just be her beautiful fucking self.
Absolutely.
But I think she would see that Zochi, or Fives let the situation, like, where Uplink's a little bit more open because they are, like, running from battle. And then she would, like, quickly go up to Uplink directly. And then maybe take a aggressive stance in trying to knock her out best way possible, and not necessarily like hit her, but like maybe come behind her and like do that thing where they like cut off breathing or whatever.
You want to grab her. You want to subdue her, as it were. Okay.
Yeah, subdue her.
Absolutely. First off, I need to have her mark off a condition for what 5. I should have had that happen earlier, but that's my fault, so I'll skip that for now. Please roll to directly engage a threat. Roll plus danger.
I ain't got no danger. I got a
Well,
7.
you're rolling 2d6. What you got?
A 7.
That's a
Oh,
hit.
the 7-9. It's a hit. You're gonna trade blows in a second, but before that, you're gonna choose one of these options: resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I guess I can. You said impress?
It's impress, surprise, or frighten. I pick which one of the 3 she takes, but you pick the option if you want.
Okay. I guess I can surprise her.
Well, yeah. So I picked the option, but I actually wasn't surprised if you picked that one, which is fine. So
Okay. Sorry.
So, Aurelia, you again like ghost up behind her while she's talking with 5. Is Nova gonna pay for as you grab around her and like begin to like wrap around her? She's like, hey, we are not that close yet, and she starts firing her jump jets rapidly as fast as she can. Please roll to take a powerful blow. Roll plus conditions you have.
You said just conditions?
Yeah, roll plus any conditions you have. If you have none, you just roll 2d6.
I kind of got a full hit on that, which is bad, right?
That's very bad. It's a 10 plus.
It's a 10.
Oof. So you can choose one of the options. You can either remove yourself from the situation, lose control of your power in a terrible way, or choose 2 options from the 7 to 9 list.
Let me look at the 7 to 9 list again.
I'll tell you it if you want. You lash out verbally, provoking a teammate to foolhardy action or take advantage of your influence for the condition. You give ground, your opposition gets the opportunity, or struggle past the pain. Mark 2 conditions.
I think I might lose control of my powers in a terrible way.
Sure.
Same ideas.
Oh yeah. Okay, so here's what happens. So first off, she's going to mark a condition here. She's going to mark the the afraid condition, because you're jumping on her and she does not like physical combat. And the way it's going to manifest is she's going to, again, as she kind of like begins to fly around rapidly with you, Aurelia, she flails her arms out. You'll see several kind of divots and dots open up in her, like almost, again, techno-organic kind of like covering. And several smaller of those squares will pop out, and a bunch of smaller drones will create this large horde. And then she'll just thrust away as hard as possible. So narratively, Aurelia, you're on her back as she goes and smashes into a building, and you let off a flare of blinding light as you erupt into energy, cratering a small bit of the building you land into, definitely causing some damage, and someone probably wants to go make sure that the people inside are okay at some point, maybe. But there's also now a horde of drones out on the field for the rest of your friends to have to smash through if they want to get to anybody else, especially to get to you and Uplink right now. As she smashes into that wall, we see a cratering in the building. Aurelia, do you feel any response at all to causing damage to property like this, or to possibly causing collateral?
I think Aurelia feels somewhat of a response just because she's like trying to minimize her effect on everything. So I think she would go to make sure that people are okay, not out of like necessary concern. But
fair enough. As of current, you are tussling with Uplink, but we'll come back to you checking in on what happens in just a moment. As you begin to literally have to grapple with Uplink, who is also trying to kind of like pull away and get out of your grasp as much as she can, the camera will slide back, a panel will cut, and let's jump back over to one of our other friends. Who feels like they want to, let's see, I want to move the action in an interesting way. Let's do the following. You know what? he did call you out, so why the fuck? No, you know what? No. Actually, you know what? She has a beef with you from last time you guys chucked it, so why not? Cass, our dear Hecate, as you are watching, Aurelia and Zuchi begin to tumble with uplink, you immediately need to jump right as hard as possible, as, for lack of better term, 430 pounds of pure lizard-like muscle comes charging at you at way faster than it probably should.
It's not to the side. She just portals underneath her, and drops behind.
You drop behind as Scylla goes sailing right past you. She does, however, smash directly into the first floor of the building you were sort of in between for her, and just again, so she like pushes aside the rubble and is now in.
If she's gonna smash into the building, you said it was morning, right?
Getting close to morning.
And water is off to the east, city's off to the west.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I pull her shadow up from underneath her and like create a net to try and like keep her from busting up the storefronts.
Roll to unleash your powers. Please roll plus freak.
Okay.
We're getting freaky.
That's a 10.
All right. On a 10 plus, pick 2 from the list. Resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I think I would like to avoid her blows. That feels like what I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I want to take from her is I want to take her ability to move freely. I want her like tied down, because the person I'm here for is Jet.
All right. You smash into Scylla, trying to stop her from hitting the building. You begin skating backwards, kind of grind your shoes grinding on the ground.
Give me that.
Go.
That's not how my powers work.
Go on.
So I drop out from underneath her and appear and fall behind her in kind of like a bent leg pose. Her shadows, as she's charging forward, are ripped up from the pavement and kind of make kind of like a cargo netting, almost like ropes that lash out and bind her in her own shadow. The ends of those ropes are pointing now towards Cass's own shadow, and you can see them kind of like pointing towards her fingertips as she pulls them down and tries to manipulate them around the nearest street lamp.
All right. Please roll to take a powerful blow as you see a bunch of Scylla shadows wrap and constrict and bind her. She almost rolls and topples as the bind units roll and wrap.
So I got 2 there, right? So I avoid her blows was one of them. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to trade blows here.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right. Good call. Yeah. So you manage to sort of bowl her over, and as she kind of turns and wrap and like again begins to sort of struggle against the binds, just, you think this can hold me? I'm gonna rip you to pieces.
Long enough. And she'll like having like bound her as best she can to that street lamp. She'll turn to figure out where the hell Jet is.
You turn to your left and see Cleona running up and just, hey, don't worry, I got her. And as she runs up and puts a hand out as if she's about to activate her powers, which is not a thing you think you've seen Cleo do a whole lot, she wheels a hand around to you, Cass, and you feel your brain get blasted.
It's actually more. Sorry, you weren't in on this conversation. It's more of a familiar sensation because Cass and Cleo have like hung out trying to help Cleo control her powers. So she's let Cleo like push into her mind directly without doing anything to resist it.
Well, but that's the thing is that's so you are very used to how, like, at least somewhat used to what Cleo feels like pushing into your mind. This feels more erratic. It's a little not as controlled. And then suddenly again, she then turns and literally blasts you psychically. You feel your brain kind of shriek, and clearly what is an offensive attack launched at you by Cleo. What do?
I feel like the thing she would want to do here is this seems like out of character for Cleo. This is not Banshee's style per se, and I think what she's trying to figure out is she will kind of like lock herself down in one place as best she can, digging her heels in, and then just study Banshee for a second, trying to figure out what the hell is going on in her head. Banshee, this is not like you.
I'm actually gonna. You know what? Yeah, go ahead and give me the roll anyway. Assess situation, please. Please roll plus superior.
Can I pierce the mask here?
Yes, go ahead. Please roll plus
Okay.
mundane.
Cool. Bloop. That's a 7.
On a 7, you get to ask one from this list. What are you really planning? What do you want me to do? What do you intend to do? How can I get your character to blank? How can I get influence over you?
What are you really planning?
Oh, that's answered I honestly wasn't gonna keep this secret going for too much longer, honestly. Cass, as you're like, this isn't like you, Banshee. She kind of puts down her hand, pulls into a pocket, and pulls out what looks like a packet of cigarettes. Pulls one out and then grabs a lighter and Cleo says to you, just, yeah, sorry, princess. My powers are still weird for me to figure out. As suddenly Cleo begins to shift and morph until she becomes this almost featureless, sort of like mostly light gray figure. This is Turncoat, the last member of the Cypress League.
How to do it.
But if we're talking about taking on new looks, he leans forward somewhat. He shifts again. I think I like yours a little better. And suddenly, you are looking in a mirror, Cass.
Okay. Would I know, does his shapeshifting let him know how other people use their powers?
Elaborate a little bit if you could.
So if it's just he can copy my powers, that's one thing. But there's copying their powers, and then there's knowing how to use them instinctually and creatively. Because
Then the answer to your question is no. He clearly, again, and you could tell by the way he very sloppily used Cleo's power, he definitely just gets the power and probably can get like whatever instinctive twitch tells you to use the power. Using it well or efficiently or creatively, that's going to take time and practice. Just like anybody else.
I drop both of us through a portal 40 feet into the air and start falling with style at him.
As the camera shows him slowly beginning to fall down towards the ground with you portaling around and warping through the air with him rapidly, the scene kind of moving left and right and carrying through several different moves. I'm going to have you roll something for that in just a moment. But before you do that, the camera finds the person you were looking for. As there is a stomp on the ground, several pieces of that crane shatter and break, and then with a swift series of kicks, those pieces of crane go flying directly at Mel. How do you respond?
It's some cool dodges and shit. Cause yeah, I'm not gonna catch a bunch of flying metal and throw it back. I'm not that cool.
I mean, hey, fair enough. Do you intend to counterattack here, or do you intend to just dodge?
If I can get close enough to counterattack, yeah.
I mean, this is the fictional narrative. If you're planning to use your dodge
Let's
to
fucking
close the distance,
go.
please roll
Yeah.
plus danger to directly engage a threat.
Oh gosh.
The danger.
What's up, Dick? Sorry.
I'm sorry. That was my fault.
Nine.
Someone has a condition. Oh, I
That's
didn't
a
have an actual
9.
condition. I'm sorry about that.
That's a hit.
A 9 is a hit. Please choose one from the list. Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten them.
I guess the option would be to resist or avoid their blows since they are attacking me.
Absolutely. Mel, you pull a long back bend to avoid the first eye beam that comes flying at you. Do a backflip to avoid another one, and then a front flip. You begin to weave left and right, closing the distance and avoiding these debris. And as you come out of a long sort of somersault, you look up and immediately have to full bridge bend backward, as the next thing that comes flying at you at near Mark 3 isn't debris, it's Jet. And you literally almost lock eyes with him as he goes sailing over you, giving that same sick smirk like he's so fucking sure of himself. He smashes into the side of a reinforced building just behind you, and then's almost sticking to the wall and just, little princess, you are outmatched.
What's up with all this fucking princess shit? This man is creeping me out.
He doesn't get touched a lot. Unless in battle. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure I can hold my own.
Well, since he has to mark a condition, I think he's going to go ahead and try and prove that. See if he can't prove that. What condition does he mark here? Yeah, let's go with this one. Let's go with as you kind of sit there and almost kind of mockingly kind of go like, I think I'll be just fine. He narrows his eyebrows at you and just, let's see then. Brings his leg back and begins to just come flying down at you as you two begin to swap and move around and trade and trade dodging around. He is clearly lashing out at you as hard as he can, trying to clearly hit you with a blow that, Mel, you're not a doctor, you're not a medical professional or any kind, but I wager you know and how hard a human body can be hit. If one of those kicks catches you, it's a couple of ribs broken at best, maybe a collapse at worst.
Yeah, probably
Sorry, go ahead. What do you do?
working on making sure to avoid at all costs and, if possible, catch with an arm.
All right, give me one more roll to directly engage a threat.
Something good. Give me something good. Oh, that's not good.
What you got?
5.
All right. On a miss, I gotta remember how that works for directly engage a threat, but I think you just take a condition, possibly? I'm gonna double check. But while I'm checking that, what happens is, actually, I think this sounds perfect, because I love the idea of failing forward. First off, mark spotlight, because you do gain one spotlight for for failing. We always fail forward in this game. And in the vein of failing forward, I think what happens is you are managing to duck and weave, and tell me how this sounds if this feels appropriate. But you're ducking and weaving, and you're actually doing a really solid job of avoiding all of his attacks as best as you can, just ducking and weaving. Your hair being blown this direction at that from every like mock force kick that comes flying at you. And it's then maybe emo almost in a slight bit of, dare I say, like hubris almost. You get the idea of like, I can catch one of these kicks and counterattack him. And as you kind of like lean into an incoming kick and try to grab with both arms, you do. You absolutely grab and seize his leg as hard as you can. The kick makes you skid back a bit. And as you hear that kick still reverberate through your body from the catch, it hits you with enough force that you cough and you feel something float in the side of your chest.
Can I jump in and defend my baby sister?
Absolutely.
I feel like
Ooh, actually, hold on. Just tell me what's happening narratively as what happens as you see Mel grab out at the kick and like take that sort of blow. What happens that makes you want to jump in and defend? Tell me through like what this narrative looks like first, and then I'm gonna do a thing.
So I imagine that our friend Turncoat is absolutely sucking shit at not getting like Marvel vs. Capcom juggled midair.
Pretty accurate, Sensei.
And like maybe I'm not landing any decisive blows here, but he's not getting a respite from it, which gives Hecate a lot of opportunity to survey the field and see what's happening with everybody else. Recognizing the collateral damage from the beginning of the fight, and spotting Mel closing in on one of the fastest people alive, she's kind of like falling sideways and seeing that kick come in, and is like, that does not end well for anyone who can't redirect that force.
As we see Hecate dive to defend her sister, we see Zuchi still blasting through the horde of robots that is separating her from Uplink and Aurelia. The two of them we still see tussling alongside that building as it seems to be have taken a bit of collateral damage as Mel engages with Jet, and no one seems to know what might have happened to Cleo. The camera cuts for a brief bit. We head back to that small little shack. A small pair of hands clutches what looks to be a sort of octagonal, sort of rusted brass sigil of some kind, imposed on which is a withered tree. Small hands clutch tight. Uncle Jay, must be okay. Before he stands up, and Grayson begins to walk out of the door. And before we find out what's happening with that, we're going to give ourselves and our heroes the briefest bit of a break. We'll be back in just a few. Touch not that dial, that browser. Don't close that issue. We'll be back with some action in just a little bit. Stay right there. Michelle, take us out. And we return to the flurry of combat, the panel resuming directly on Hecate descending to intercept a seemingly lethal incoming kick from Jet. Hecate, why don't you go ahead and give me that defend somebody roll, please?
What do I roll to defend with?
Well, Savior!
Savior! Oh. Well, great news for me. That's a +3. It's a full hit!
What? On a full hit. Absolutely, you keep the person safe and get to choose one from the list. Add a team to the pool. Take influence over someone you protect. Clear a condition.
Oh, hold on. I would like influence over my sister, please.
Oh.
You have influence over me.
Do I?
Yeah.
I have that tracked.
I gave it to you
Well-
last session.
Well,
I must
when
have
you
set
have
up.
influence over someone and would gain it, you get to shift their labels. One up, one down.
Yeah, sure.
Wait.
I would love
Are you
to
able to
shift
see my sheet?
I can pull it up in a second, but I think I know what I want to shift up off the top of my dome. I want to shift your danger up.
Thank God.
What's up, danger?
And I wanna shift. I feel like superior down in this situation.
Valid.
I mean, all right. Lock it in then, Mel.
I feel like it's this moment of she's jumping in front. Don't give this asshole the satisfaction. And then she'll, as she's like getting connected with, she'll open that portal and she just whizzes back. Just letting the momentum get transferred to herself as she breaks by just portaling up.
As you fly back to the portal, Jet brings back and kind of still has that leg cocked up, tilts ahead at you, Mel, and you'll see the kind of Jets almost like fire off a bit of residual steam as they kind of like rearm and just sister's love. What are you gonna do if something happens to her?
Wait, how does he know?
Oh
Good
fuck.
question.
Yeah, how does he know?
That's a good question. You can ask him.
I'm gonna ask him. How do you
Well,
know?
kind of leans down. Little horn friend told me.
An horned friend?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know that guy. I'm not. Aurelia's not saying that. Just so you know.
Probably not within
Stuff in
hearing
back
distance, though.
Eyes up. Better keep dodging. Another fist, another leg slams into the ground, kicks up dirt and debris all around you as the camera will smash cut. Aurelia, you have been tussling with Uplink for a while, and you can see more of this building you are kind of smashing with her into, beginning to collapse and fall away. However, as you two are tussling, it's very clear she is trying to just break away from you. What do you do?
I think I will give her the chance to break away from me, just so I can assess, like, kind of deal with the people. Because even if I'm not necessarily tied to this world, I think Aurelia is trying to act within least impact. And I think fucking up people's lives with her amazing body would probably impact them.
Well, then I'll say you won't roll to get away or to get away from Uplink. As you begin to kind of give her some slack, she kind of brings her hands up and literally almost not playfully. There's definitely a bit of force behind it, but again, she's not a fighter. Just kind of hands off and pushes away from your face. Kind of pushes away from you. Jets away as you kind of begin to create space. You look back to the building and see it begin to kind of again that side of corner you smashed into is crumbling rapidly. You can already see the kind of like second or third floor of this building beginning to kind of fold in on itself, as you can definitely see there are people inside. Why don't you tell me what you do, and then roll to defend someone or something, plus savior.
Is there anybody that I see who is, like, in direct danger? Or, like...
As you look through the window, you can see that not in the room that you're, like, that's facing the window, but in, like, the next room back. You can almost see through, like, an open door. There is a family of 3. Why not? Family of 3 is sort of, like, sheltered in. This would be maybe a father and 2 young children.
Okay. Could I, by chance, like, carry them out to safety?
How do you want to do it?
With my flying, and then, like, using my energy to kind of, like, wrap around them and, like, carrying them. Like, they're not like babies, but, like, we're in a big hug.
Roll for me plus savior.
Oh, my savior's shit.
Well, remember they
8
have the team
though.
pool, friends.
I got an 8, though.
An 8 is a success. So on a 7 and 9, it does cost you. You expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation. Your call.
What does escalate the situation mean?
That's up to me.
Okay, I'd rather expose myself to danger then.
Absolutely. So why don't you tell me what it looks like? Also, let me make sure. Oh yeah. So first off, why don't you go ahead and tell me what it looks like as you're outside this building, you're flying beside it, you see this family through through the window and through the room. How do you fly in, wrap them in energy, and then escape? Walk me through the moment. Take us into the comic.
So I'm guessing Aurelia would kind of use her hands as like a blast of energy, and you kind of see it shoot forward as she goes through the window to get this family. After she gets them, she doesn't really say anything. She's just very stoic in nature, but assessing the situation, knowing that they're kind of limited on time. She grabs them, does a big rock, she's like hug, and she's like, "Come with me." And then she flies out. I'm guessing with the building crumbling, would some of the debris fall on her in the process of trying to get them out?
It's less that, actually. What actually happens is, and so you're afraid of that, actually. You're deliberately focused on, like, trying to avoid the debris and, like, make sure that they specifically don't get hurt. And as you kind of like do a bit of a barrel roll coming out of the window to avoid a sort of like the building literally coming and sort of sandwiching that whole floor, like that whole corner of the floor down under you, as you kind of like weave out, you were able to kind of like gently drop them into like, like sort of like onto the ground. You kind of lean down. One of the kids looks up at you and just says, "Are you an angel?"
Something like that.
And then a blast of shadow magic hits you from the side, and you are sent flying off.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, Animus.
Told you I didn't forget him.
Oh, I thought that
Brings
was.
his hand down, taps the staff, and just uplink. We are losing ground. Where is Jet? Busy, I think. Aurelia, we'll come back to you and recover from that blast of shadow magic in just a moment. But before then, let's cut back over to our purple-skinned friend, shall we? It has been a rolling tide of metal and flailing limbs for our dear Zuchi as you are smashing through this horde of small robotic servants that Uplink has spawned to put between you and Aurelia. You manage to kind of smash through the last of them just as you see Uplink kind of like take to the sky further from further from Aurelia and sort of begin to ascend upward. Just then, as you kind of hear a wrenching grind, a lamppost and like a corner of a building snap as Scylla gives a great heave and finally snaps the shadow binds that Cass had her in. She looks at you and just, "Hey, cousin. It's up to you, Five. Who do you go after?"
I'll go after number 7.
She takes one single step. You follow her. Another step. Faster and faster and faster until you two are barreling at each other full speed. Please roll to directly engage a threat.
Can I perhaps engage this threat without regard for my own safety to roll with Savior, using my more than a shield?
That sounds fantastic.
Awesome. Whoop. What did I roll? 11!
Ooh.
So
Pick 2 from the list.
where is the list? Let's see.
Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. Create opportunity for your allies. Impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I would like to resist her blows and impress, surprise, or frighten.
All right. Absolutely. You two collide shoulder to shoulder. There is this.
I'm not your little cousin, bitch!
There is a reverberating, almost sonic boom of force from these two bullet trains of scales and meat meeting each other at Mach 2. And as you slam into her, one, you don't give ground. You literally just meet her blow for blow. The ground dug up beneath the two of you as you begin to like press against each other. You kind of see her arm come down, and there is the widest smile on her face. Not bad. That's impressed, by the way, if you were curious.
Hey! I'm glad.
However, I
I can't have this bitch looking down on me.
I think what's going to happen next, if you don't mind, as I imagine you two go into a lock hands and it's your typical like anime shove match kind of style, and are kind of pushing back and forth as hard as you can against each other, maybe even throwing some blows, some haymakers here or there, left or right as you need to. I think what happens is Five, there's a moment where you she swings really hard over you and you duck low, get a good grip around her and go to just suplex her over your back. And as you bring her up over your eye line, you look forward and you see what looks like, well, actually, two things happen. First, you see what looks like a young kid running onto the scene. He's not there yet, but he's certainly going to be in the line of fire sometime soon. Secondly, as you slam Scylla down, and she immediately turns and begins to dive back onto you, clearly meaning you're too tied up to be able to go and engage with this kid, You also hear your earpiece go off, and it's by the chime of the channel switch. You know it's definitely not on your line you have with Cass and the rest of your squad. Number 5, tracking your ident tags and bio signs. Are you in the field?
Train.
One more
What?
time.
I said I'm just doing some training.
There's a
I'm
long
gonna
pause.
lie.
There's a long pause. Retrieval squad inbound. Hold them there. And then it cuts.
Oh. Regardless, I'm gonna switch back to the other radio wave and mention the child abound. Please
do
don't
so.
crush the child.
Can Aurelia like notice the child even though she's like recovering from wherever the fuck she landed?
Well, Five's about to tell y'all about to tell you guys about the kid. So please feel free to respond once they let you know.
Okay, I don't know if anybody else wants to go to defend them first, so I will give other people room to do that.
Any case, Fives, what do you say to your teammates to like let them know how you handle that?
Curious, does Fives recognize the kid or just it is a kid? Because Fives
you
hasn't
seen
really
Grayson?
interacted with Grayson. I don't know if I don't know if they would have or not.
Fives
I
might
don't- I
recognize
know
them
there
from the diner, but
Yeah,
Fives
we
hasn't
saw
interacted
him
with
at the
them.
diner.
Yeah, I think you saw this kid. Yeah, actually, then yes, this is definitely the kid you, or at least looks similar to the kid you saw snatch something from the diner the other day or earlier today.
Okay, then they'll say, "Hey, I think it's that kid. Watch out!"
As soon as not clocking what that means here, I feel like Hecate, after burning off all of her momentum, tries to see where the kid is, to pull them out of danger by just doing like one of those. Well, it would be a Spider-Man if she had webs, but like portal, child grab, spin, portal.
I'm gonna villain movie if
land
you don't
somewhere
mind,
else.
actually.
Oh,
As you finally you see the kid and you're like, okay, easy portal, portal spin move portal. You go to open up a portal and feel yourself falling down into a portal. Definitely one you didn't open. And as you slide into your in-between world, you see a face just like you're looking back at you. I'm getting the hang of this. Before they spit you both back out onto the street. It's Turncoat.
Can Aurelia do something now for the kid?
Absolutely.
Okay. I think she's gonna be like confused at the situation that just happened with Hecate, and immediately like just shoot forward for the child to get them out of the fire or the line
Please
of
roll
fire.
to defend someone. You're going to roll plus savior.
I'm gonna take one from the team pool if possible. Could I do
Are you
that?
acting selfishly here?
Am I acting? Oh wait, I thought selflessly.
Is it selflessly? I should look.
I
at
don't
that.
know.
it's selfishly.
Yeah, no, it's selfishly. Yeah, it's you have to if you're doing that, you have to describe how your actions are sort of like ignoring or possibly insulting your team.
Okay, then I don't know if I could take it from the team pool then.
I have a potential angle for that.
Okay, I would like to hear it out, and then I'll make a decision.
I do think it is a little insulting that I feel like Cass kind of had it handled. Or appeared to have it handled, and you're kind of stepping in and
I'm
taking
always
over.
a fan of verbal abuse in these situations. When all else fails, you can just be like, "What is wrong with you all?" Boink.
I feel like
It
that's
also
actually very on point for Aurelia, though. To be like, this isn't even my job, yet I'm having to save the day.
Yeah,
Again.
please call out Cass specifically.
Okay. Fuck, how would I do that? Okay, so I think Aurelia would kind of grasp the situation and maybe take one from the team pool just to be like, and they don't think I'm better than them.
Oof.
Damn.
Anybody who feels particularly really wounded. Actually, you know what? I'm going to briefly insert here. Whether or not you meant it to Aurelia, you had your comm line open for that. Anyone who feels particularly really, really like moved by that, mark insecure for me.
And I oop.
I'm sorry.
Now, Aurelia, if you could, please roll plus savior to see how well you can defend this little kid.
All right, and that means I am taking one from the team pool. Can somebody like
Yes.
fix that or something?
Team
I got
Pool is
you.
at 3 now.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Because the thing with Aurelia is that she doesn't save people, so her savior is very low.
Well,
But with that one,
it's one for the Team Pool.
but with that one, she got a 7, so that means it's a hit.
Tell me how exactly your plan is to go and swoop and get Grayson out of trouble.
Real quick. Did you add one flat to the roll when you did that, or did you adjust your labels? Because using Team Selfishly lets you flip your labels around. So you could pump your savior up and reduce something else down.
Can I just not add one to the roll?
That's not how using Team Selfishly works.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my bad. I took that one wrong. That's on me.
So I'm gonna bring savior up one, and then I'm gonna put mundane down one.
Sounds good to me.
That sounds
Lock it in.
perfect.
Okay, should I
It's an
roll
8.
again or
No. Keep the roll because the
the
outcome's going to be the same. Like it's functionally a +1, but it also requires you to shift your labels, which is like I don't know.
The long term.
Mhm.
It's a thing.
So Ali, since you made the roll here, I'll pull this over to you. One, since you rolled between 7 and 9, tell me how do you want to either expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation? Your call.
Ooh, I have a fun one if you want to escalate the situation.
Okay, I would like to hear that.
So it can be in conjunction to Mel is engaging with Jet, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Mel just kind of goes shit Grayson in front of him, looking your direction.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, that's perfect.
If you want to do that,
You're a genius.
if you want to do that, you can choose to go the other route.
No, I'm into that.
Your call, Ali.
If Mel's gonna say, "Oh shit, Grayson," and I think Aurelia would be under the understanding that this is Grayson too.
Mm-hmm. Especially as you're flying towards him, you look him in the face as he's kind of like look up. You know, you get a bit of a freeze frame. Yeah, no, you can see it clearly in his face. That is absolutely Grayson.
Aurelia, I would say, is taken aback, but almost like putting the pieces together. And then after hearing Mel's confirmation, like stuck in the moment.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I think that's how that plays out. And then I think that there's a second where her and Jet lock eyes, and Jet probably like immediately turns to adjust fire to head towards Aurelia.
Yeah, the look on Jet's face is murder. When you say Grayson and then look back at Jet, the look on his face is shock, horror, and fury. He steps back. You Nova dogs won't get your hands on him! And goes to
Aurelia
swing as hard as
incoming.
he can. And as he like takes off, again, as hard as he can, you all see as one of the light posts that Jet is flying by winks out. It, just drains down as if it just like suddenly grew very cold. The light sort of flinks out and freezes over. And then a blast of flame shoots by Jet, knocking him to a side. What? All this for a party and no one thought to invite me? In front of you all is a taller, darker-skinned man with sort of long dreads hanging down his back. His costume is a bright red and orange with a flaming symbol on the middle of it.
Is he hot?
Oh, he's hot as fuck. Absurdly. Like,
Yeah.
cut jaw, like roguish smile, brilliant green eyes. Like it's kind of unfair how hot he is actually.
I relate.
A wildfire.
Yep, this would be the hero Wildfire, who, hey y'all, we having
Hey,
fun out
Kyle.
here?
Define fun.
He kind of looks of just like, right. So, which one of these people am I hitting?
Cypress League.
Now is it so little? Okay. And he slams his hand on the ground, and you'll see the whole of the ground begin to kind of, again, get cold and kind of get like frosted over, maybe even some small cracks form in the concrete as his locks begin to slowly shift from that dark black to a slightest tinge of scarlet almost. And he starts flinging fireballs at Jed and Animus.
Sorry, Firebaba just said something in chat that we have to canonize. Full name Tyson Smolder.
You know what? Yeah, actually, yeah.
That's so good.
Actually, yeah. Actually, yeah.
Just last name
Yeah.
to come.
AKA Smolder, Tyson Smolder. That's a superhero's name if I ever heard.
It works. No, it just works.
Damn
It just
good one.
works, actually. It's better than anything I would have come up with. I love it. It's canon. We're keeping that.
Is he about to floor his lava us, though? I'm a little concerned.
It's, funnily enough, it's kind of the opposite. The ground is growing cold. His power appears to be, at least. He
Takes the
draws in
energy?
heat energy from things and then projects
Oh.
it.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay.
Which, speaking of, he immediately has to bring his hand up and intercept what looks like a red laser blast shot down at him from the sky, as Uplink, who has her hand sort of split open and a large barrel projecting from it, brings that back in and, hey, you can say we could tag in more. Who's your hot friend?
Who is that directed at?
Oh, it's at you.
The urge to instigate is.
I mean, this game is made to instigate. You should do it.
How-
I
How have you
shouldn't
lived
because
in this
it's-
city
it's
this
the
long?
thing that you don't
And-
want.
You don't know who Wildfire is.
She kind of.
Does she look like someone who gets out much?
Hey,
I like
that's rude. I
squirrels.
read plenty of blogs. Her eye literally begins to extend and project like a telescope for a brief bit before it comes back in and, oh, I've read about you. Points over at Cass. That's your boyfriend.
Is she older than me? Does she have influence over me? Is she an adult?
Oh no, no, she's not an adult. She's honestly maybe you guys' age, maybe even a little bit younger, probably in like the 15, 16 age.
I was gonna say, if she's an adult, she's fucking insane.
I mean, it wouldn't be the like Jinx exists culturally. We know the type.
My influence is out.
also
Fuck,
insane.
fuck.
Are you gonna run your mouth all day, or are you gonna fight? And she'll. Yeah. Do you know how to do anything besides run your mouth? Or is this just all a game to you? She'll throw, like, shadow spheres up at, yeah, up at her.
Up at Uplink. Up at Link. I mean,
Up
sorry.
at Uplink, and I don't think I'm actually trying to hit her here. I'm trying to provoke her into shutting the fuck up.
Don't talk about my
roll.
boyfriend.
Go ahead and roll to provoke someone. So you're trying to get it. So what are you trying to get her to do? I assume it's shut up.
Yeah, basically.
Then go ahead and roll plus
shut up and
superior.
or run. Those are my goals.
Fair enough.
Okay.
She is already at one of three.
Okay. I do get a -2 to this.
Oh right, conditions.
That's a 3.
Remember,
Oh.
friends, if you feel like you're capable
Well,
of helping, you can
there's
pull
your
one of the team
potential.
to help.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna turn this 3 into a 7.
I mean, I don't think we have enough team pool, right? Because
Yeah, no, sorry.
only 3 team pool.
That's fine. That's fine. That's my last potential.
Yeah,
I'd be happy to
14
try to
pool.
help, but
Level up.
Yeah, go ahead and mark potential
Oh,
first,
weird.
please. That's important. I like that. I think that's the first thing to do. And I think as you like kind of taunt her and begin to throw up those portals, she starts just doing figure eights and weaving and still firing those lasers down at you. And it's as she's firing at you, one again comes square at you, and Tyson being Tyson, he jumps in front and intercepts it as it blasts. And she just, like, again, with the jump jets, puts herself in a sort of floating stance and, oh, love.
Can I add something to that?
Please.
I would like her to have taken a path and left little contrail, a heart, and then WF plus HD.
Oh, absolutely. Just, oh,
Fucking hell.
love. In any case, let's see. Who do we cut back over to next?
Mel.
You know what? Dice roll for this one. I think I'm like, actually, you know what? I'm liking Mel. Let's do Mel. Why not? Let's talk to Mel for a little bit. Mel, you see that Aurelia has managed to grab on to Grayson, and Jet is immediately trying to disengage from you. Like, he is jump jetting backwards and flinging kicks to throw more debris at you to create space and get away to move towards Aurelia, as he now realizes that it's going to be hard to take to the air with Wildfire still, well, throwing fireballs around. What do you do? Where's my pen? Sorry.
I think she's going to continue to close distance and get to Jet and Aurelia. And get on comms with Aurelia and ask her, do you need help with Grayson, or are you able to extract him?
I think we need to prioritize an extraction for him immediately. I'm engaged in combat actively.
well,
Just for some flavor, Aurelia, as you're saying that, you can see Animus charging up another spell. Just for some flavor as you say that.
Okay. I think if I see that, I would go into a defensive position and kind of like using my hand to make like an energy shield for Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
And then also like looking at Grayson, it's like, are these the people you're talking about prior?
He just looks at you kind of shocked and confused and a bit terrified, but doesn't appear to say anything immediately.
I'll give you time.
So, Mel, you were tussling with Jet, and Aurelia. Animus is going to start trying to fling spells at you. So I'm going to have you both simultaneously roll to directly engage a threat if you don't mind. So please, friends, roll plus danger.
I got a full hit. I got 11.
Ooh, hello.
I think that's my first good one, and I have +0 for that because apparently I'm not
Yeah,
dangerous.
we love that.
I'm just better than
8.
everybody.
An 8. All right. So Mel, you get 1 from this list. Aurelia, you get 2. Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
You could go first, Mel.
I think since he is throwing like debris and stuff at me, I'm going to resist and avoid his blows. I do want to talk to him, but I'll let Ali complete her roll first.
Okay.
Ali, or sorry, all the way around. I just said Ali. I have a brain. Mel, you are ducking and dodging and diving around the debris. It's letting you close, but it is definitely slowing you down as you have to focus on avoiding while you're closing. I'll come back to you in just a moment. Aurelia, what do you want?
So I'm gonna avoid their blows, and I'm gonna take something from them, and the thing I'm gonna take is the child.
I like that. You are able to sort of deftly dodge and duck around these sort of blasts of energy shooting up at you and sort of weave and dodge away. And eventually you pull your energy field back to bring Grayson along with you and pull away. And as you are doing so, I'm going to have Animus mark. You know what? He has to finally mark a condition. And it's actually going to be the one that I think I want him to use the most here. He's going to mark that one, and he will respond in this way. As he sees you pulling Grayson away, you'll see that kind of hood lean forward some, and he kind of cuts back and somewhat. He will not like this. And then he'll kind of just literally, as you kind of float away with Grayson, he just slinks back into a shadow and is gone. Seems like he turned tail.
Here. Oh, I can't say that.
Why can't you?
Yeah, y'all could fill in the blanks for that one.
Scaredy cat.
Yes.
Aurelia,
yes,
you are
there it
slinking
is.
away.
It's so committed to not creating an impact on this world that she doesn't curse in front of children, so as not to sully their minds.
He's a weenie baby.
Weenie had general.
Well, we'll talk about that in just a moment because I think I'm gonna use a villain move here real quick. 5. You've been tussling with Scylla this whole time ever since you suplexed her, and you've been kind of bashing back and forth. She is. It seems like from the way she fights almost like a boxer. Very high stance and tight controlled punches or slice with her claws. But she's certainly not afraid to like get in close and like grab at you. And it's as you're tussling back and forth with her. You know what's funny? Her villain move is cause collateral through sheer brute strength by tossing an object. 5, I'm gonna make you an object if you don't mind. She's going to literally.
Are you
as she
objectifying?
Yes, a little bit. I'm
Are
sorry.
you
I'm my girlfriend here.
objectifying during a Women's History Month? You're
I
objectifying
am,
your
and
girlfriend?
I'm the worst. I know. I'm sorry. As she swipes one, she's gonna actually dig her claws into your shoulder and into your back a bit. It punctures skin. It does hurt, and then she'll just heave and throw you. Aurelia, you have a rapidly approaching 5s inbound.
Puck, can I like?
What's my reaction time to fly and not crash?
I think I'll allow a defend someone roll here, as if you're trying to defend Aurelia from the impact of you into her.
Can I roll something too?
This would be the kind of situation where I feel like team spending makes sense.
Yes,
Like,
this is a situation where I think whoever's not. So yeah, Aurelia, if you want, you can spend it. You can spend a team to say how you're assisting her in not smashing into you.
Taking the kid and flying out of the way.
I think I would, react with like a energy shield around both the kid and I, just in case to brace for impact.
I'll allow it. Take one out of the team pool. 5, you get a +1 on this roll. Please roll plus savior.
Alrighty, so that is an 8 plus 3 is 11 plus 1 is a 12.
That's a fucking critical hit. I mean, not literally, but it is a seriously important hit. So you get to pick. So 1, you do keep Aurelia safe from your impact. You get to choose 2 from this. You get to pick. It's done. You get to pick 1 thing from this list. Actually, you can either add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition.
I will choose to add a team to the pool. I imagine that as 5s takes flight to oppose the acceleration of that incredible toss, the wind of their wings just will breeze upon Aurelia and Grayson as she narrowly misses impacting them.
Absolutely. Your wings flare. There's a gust of wind that blows Aurelia and Grayson's hair somewhat. He kind of looks up at both of you a bit awestricken as you are able to just barely arrest your movement, maybe a 1.5 feet in front of them.
And Aurelia's gonna be a dick.
Go on.
Go for
Yeah.
it.
She's just gonna be like, I would say I'm impressed, but it seems like this was your fault to start with.
My fault. Get the kid out of here.
I would continue my mission that I was on before you interrupted.
I was just gonna dive back towards Scylla, rolling
Scylla
around.
Scylla is already ready to meet you. You two smash into each other. You coming sort of slightly aerial inbound as you guys meet and clash again and begin to brawl back and forth. Aurelia, you are mostly free with Grayson. I keep saying Grayson. It's Grayson, my fault. You are mostly free with Grayson, and as you are doing so, you can kind of survey the battlefield from where you are. Off to one side, you see Hecate and Wildfire having a bit of a sort of shootout slash portal brawl with Turncoat and Uplink. You can see Jet and Mel, duking it out as Mel is trying to kind of close ranks and keep him from getting to you. And while it's definitely going well, he is definitely still closing. And elsewise, you can see that Fives is still keeping Scylla very, very busy. What do you think you want to do here?
I think I'm probably just gonna take as high to the air as I can.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh fuck! But as I was doing such, I was also gonna make a call to Nova.
Oh yeah, I didn't tell you guys that Nova's on the way.
Yeah, I was gonna just.
I think that's a fun bit of drama, actually. Yeah, go ahead, Aurelia.
I do have access to Nova, right? Because they do see me as like a person of interest or whatever.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna get on their stupid ass comms, and Aurelia's gonna say, "I'm requesting extraction for a youth immediately."
Retrieval team is 5 minutes out. Make the decision until then.
Can you guys do anything quickly and right?
Everybody's just fucking trying their best. Aurelia like, not enough. God fucking damn it.
I'm sorry. One day she's gonna be nice. Right now she's on her mean girl arc, you know?
No,
Regina George had to get hit by the bus before she changed anything. Think about it.
Well,
in Australia, everything happens way faster.
Is this
Aurelia,
the slow bureaucracy that Cleo was complaining about previously?
Aurelia, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
As I think seeing you ascend, a couple things are going to happen. One, Jet's going to mark the condition hopeless. And I have a question for you, Aurelia, since I haven't really been able to condition you a whole lot, and I'm going to be a bit of a jerk as your GM here. How do you think it would make you feel emotionally? Because you're secured on keeping Drayson safe, and as far as you know, you're the only person doing their fucking job right? You're keeping this damn kid away from harm.
Yeah.
How would it make you feel emotionally if that suddenly wasn't the case?
Sir?
Out of curiosity, would it make you feel angry, afraid, hopeless, guilty, or insecure?
I think insecure.
Go ahead, mark that condition for me, please.
Why?
Because we have Animus in play.
Oh no, not Animus. Don't worry about him at all.
Oh.
It's so much worse. As you see Aurelia ascending rapidly, Jet stops kicking debris, looks up, no! And takes off as fast as he can, bounds off of walls, moving so fast. Again, glass shatters, buildings crack, the sound barrier breaks multiple times. He jets as fast as he can, up as high as he can, and just barrels into you as hard as he can. You stay ascended, Aurelia, and you are able to keep like yourself. You kind of, again, you tumble over a bit as he sails past you. The sphere of energy you made with Grayson in it tumbles to the ground and rolls off to the side towards the harbor.
So I'm in there with him, or he's
Oh no, you're fine.
Himself.
It's just him in it. You're still you two have been separated.
Okay.
Redirecting to the orb.
Okay, so I think at this point in time, Aurelia's gonna be a dick and kind of instigate their teammates. Is that a move that she can make? I think she's done that before.
You can provoke people.
Yeah,
You
I'm
can provoke
gonna.
someone to action.
Yeah, I'm gonna provoke everybody else to action who isn't busy. So probably like Hecate, or is Hecate in that dimension still?
No, I'm
No.
not. I'm.
Hecate is currently fighting.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Chi is currently fighting. Mel is now currently seeing the orb fall to the harbor, running to the harbor.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
So
she's
I
getting her
think
hustle on.
I guess this would be to everybody, but I think for Mel, I'm like, Mel, if you're gonna do something, this would be the perfect time.
I'm going. I'm taking off to the harbor.
And I think Aurelie would also try to go to the harbor too.
All right. Aurelia, you take off towards the harbor. Only have to dodge another jet-sized projectile as he comes flying back out again. You won't touch him!
If you're that concerned with his well-being, why did you leave him on the field?
Shut up! And comes back at you again. If you want to get to Grayson, you're going to have to get through him as he is absolutely enraged right now.
Okay, we fighting.
Meanwhile, let's go back to Mel.
Hello. I'm running not without hindrance, I'm sure.
Let me present you a bit of a devil's bargain.
Oh
if you
no.
will.
Yes.
You're beginning to run towards Grayson. You're taking off towards the harbor. Mel, you've always had an eye for things, patterns, people's sort of habits and things like that. And you're watching this, you're keeping an eye on the battlefield, and you're watching your sister and Wildfire fight Turncoat and Uplink. And you would swear you're getting the rhythm of Turncoat's portals. Your sister can do it whenever she wants. It's like thinking for her. But Turncoat is still clearly getting the handle on this, and you can tell he's doing a 1-2 pause, 1-2 pause, 1-2 pause. And as you're watching where he's moving, he portals to the left of Cass, comes at her with a kick, and then portals to the right, comes at her from above, and then portals to the left again. You would swear, if you angle your run just to the left, you could catch him off guard and hit him. Actually help your sister. Genuinely be the one to take him down, possibly. Bullet time got away from you last time. This could be your chance to make up for that. Or, do you keep running for the harbor? The choice is yours. What do you do? I love masks, by the way. If I mentioned that, but it's a great fucking system.
I think what she would do is she would go onto comms and go to tell Cass, watch his portals. 1-2 pause. 1-2 pause.
All right then. And then you're focusing
continue
on running?
towards the harbor. Yeah.
All right.
Because
You're trusting that Cass can handle this.
trusting that Cass can handle it because she knows her sister.
All right then. In that case, I'm not gonna have you roll anything just yet. But you're taking off and running towards the harbor. And you're definitely gonna make good time. You're running. And thankfully, it seems like every other villain currently is occupied. Animus isn't, but you don't see him anywhere. It seems like he fucked off.
Sus. Sus.
Listen, don't worry about that. It's not important. But you're taking off and you're running and you're making good time. Cass, how do you feel you respond to your sister's feedback?
How do you mean?
You've just kind of been given this sort of information on Turncoat's portal pattern, this 1-2 pause, 1-2 pause pattern. Do you think you're like immediately receptive to that? Are you like, not right now, I'm focusing? What's happening here?
I think that I was checking something real quick. Wrong character sheet. Yeah, Mel has influence over me. I think I'm receptive to it.
All right.
Yeah, but it takes her a second to like process those words and then figure out how to act on them. Is it all right if I do?
Please. First, I think because you mentioned influence, I think this is a bit of an instance of someone with influence over you telling you about the world, about how the world works. And it sounds like you're accepting their influence.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited.
So then, Mel, please shift Cass's labels. 1 up, 1 down. Your choice.
Pull up Cass's sheet.
Just saying.
What'd you say?
Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm not trying to put my hand on the title.
I'm gonna say savior down 1 and danger up 1.
Savior down, danger up. Lock it in. Cass, I'm gonna spare you the roll here. It works. You start counting in your head. 1, 2, pause. 1, 2, pause. Block, dodge, pause. Block, dodge, pause. And on that 5th pause, you think left.
Instead of what I do is I act on the pause, feeling that rhythm and watching his comfort with her.
You can say any all.
I'm watching her comfort with my powers and realizing that, like, she doesn't think about them the way that I do. It's very like, oh, this is a 3-dimensional space that I'm moving around, but I'm using the X, Y, and Z axis of it, which is basic as shit. So what I do is I make a portal. It's all about moving through the portal for her. But you don't have to go through a portal to make a difference. So I lean back, make a portal behind me, and move that portal right in front to clothesline her.
Absolutely. You turn, pull out that portal, and she not only comes at you, but because she was coming from a downward portal, comes at you with velocity. You smack, I mean, like mouth, nose, middle of the face. This is one of those scenes where like the comic book would like briefly pause, just like show like a black and white silhouette of your hand smacking their face with like a really big like crack sound, like onomatopoeia over top of it.
Well, and then the best part is, because she just smacked into my arm, clotheslined, I get pulled back through my portal, and I'm now no longer where she was attacking. So I end up basically being able to like land on top of her and then smash her face into the ground. On
you
the
do
back
just
of
that.
it.
You do just that. You warp around and plant her face into the dirt, and it's only her for a moment, as not long after you plant her face, it shifts back to that same off-gray, featureless look, a sort of haze in the eyes telling you, yeah, they're unconscious.
Yeah, got.
Good one, Mal. Or, excuse me, she's professional. Good one, Medusa.
Happy to help.
Tyson, who is flinging like fireballs up and uplink, looks over and just, hey, not bad, babe.
It's not gonna high five. You remember how we took down the eagle?
I remember being sore afterwards.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I was ad-libbing.
No, it's good.
You got a workout?
Well, I'm gonna make the portals different this time. Laterally, 1 beam all the way across. And what I would like to do is make like 5 or 6 portals in front of him, that then create a bunch of portals around, like directly around Uplink.
Mhm.
So that it's I'm basically creating a funnel from Gundam. Just like all these portals shooting lasers at very unpredictable angles. As I
Wildfire.
roll off of each portal onto the next one.
As you whip up several portals, you'll see him roll his shoulders. And again, for Fives, where you're fighting Scylla, Mel, where you're running, for about a city block, everything seems like the ground chills over a bit. Light bits of frost building, slight cracks in the ground here or there. His locks go bright red and begin to flare wildly all around him. Here we go! And he lets out a bright, wide beam of, it can't even be called fire, just heat energy, directly at the portal in front of him.
Fwee.
As it begins to erupt and blast in every direction, Uplink is, oh, that's so cool. No, oh no, whoa. And as she's dodging around rapidly, she eventually just throws out both hands, and this polyhedral like barrier of like energy goes around her and starts to just blast and absorb. Just, okay, time out, please stop! Wildfire, who is still channeling energy in, and eventually, Kath, you can just keep focused beams directly at this barrier as she is no longer dodging, just holding it. Wildfire, who is still channeling directly in, just help your sister, get the kid, I got her.
Yeah, I'll skedaddle. Don't have to tell me twice. And she'll stop before she starts to move, putting a hand on his shoulder. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh.
And then drop through a portal in front of her to start running alongside Medusa.
You portal through and warp. Medusa, you find your sister suddenly out of a portal, running right next to you, the two of you together. Aurelia, you are up in the air tangling with the jet, who is again, it seems like just getting faster. Every time he hits a building, he hits it harder and comes rebounding at you even faster. He's pushing himself beyond any limit of what he should be capable of with his abilities, and it doesn't seem like he has any intent of slowing down anytime soon.
Okay. I think Aurelia would take this chance to, or take this time to assess the situation.
All right. I like that. I like it a lot, actually. I think it's sort of, again, a moment of kind of like stepping back, and as you're dodging these blows, kind of keeping an eye on where everything is. Please go ahead and roll. I want to say it's plus superior?
Hell yeah.
Yes. Please roll plus superior.
She got a 9.
On a 9, you can ask me one question from the list. What here can I use to fill in the blank? What here is the biggest threat? What here is in the greatest danger? Who here is most vulnerable to me? How could we best end this quickly?
I'm going to go for a classic of how could we best end this quickly towards Jet specifically.
That's a good, I like this. Okay. I think the answer you get is twofold.
Okay.
The first answer is he's coming at you with an insane degree of anger, and that's clearly because of Grayson, you assume. He is clearly deliberately focused on keeping you all away from him. So if you want to stop him quickly, you have to either make it very clear that he can't get to Grayson, meaning he gives up on it, which might happen soon given that Mel and Cass are on their way to him, as you can see from the side. Or you make it very clear that this is not a situation he can continue fighting in, which you know there's a Nova squad inbound. It's possible that if he was aware of that, or if they got here, he might be forced to realize the situation is untenable.
Okay.
Third option, kick his ass, I guess, if you really want to.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the third option. Is he like, you said that he's kind of like, he has like jets out of him, kind of like
They come out of the back of his legs and seemingly out of his arms too if he wants them to, but he's been focusing primarily on his legs.
Okay, so I think Aurelia would take this chance to like kind of block his energy from the jets by using her being, if that makes sense.
Interesting. Do you think you are trying to like physically restrain the like to stop the jets?
Like, not physically restrained, but almost plug up the hole.
Like
Interesting.
suffocate the
Okay.
combustion or something.
Yeah, we suffocate
All right.
him.
Please roll to unleash your powers. Roll
Yep,
plus
let's-
freak.
I'm freaky. Let's hope it works
Freak
out.
it out. And then I freaked it.
And then I freaked it. I freaked it.
I made 500,000 and then I freaked it.
And I freaked it. I plugged up his holes. Then I freaked it. I freaked
Please
it.
don't. Wow. Jesus Christ.
What?
Wow.
Aurelia with her
Did
fucking
he
thing.
have a good time?
Aurelia slowly pushing her bangs behind her ears says, "And who's next?" No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
What do you got for me, baby?
I got a 8.
An 8. You can either mark a condition, or I'll tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary.
I guess I'll mark a condition. I'm gonna mark. Wait, does that mean I didn't get it?
No, you get it.
Okay.
The thing happens, no matter what.
I'm gonna be. I think Aurelia's gonna be angry because, like, she doesn't get the inner workings of the world, but she doesn't understand why this, like, fucking man who's supposed to be there for this kid is focusing all his attention on fighting instead of saving the child. Unless you have a different angle.
I think I like that actually. I think I like that angle better than the angle that I had. I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I can see how that kind of confusion is turning to anger in Aurelia's mind, as she's like almost being annoyed by how close this guy's getting to hitting her pretty decisively as you're going for it. And as you finally, I imagine, he comes back by you again. You, I assume, project your arm out and kind of like wrap around the leg holes as best as you can. You get a good. Yeah, you get a good grip on him and kind of manage to wrap around and kind of plug the hole. As he isn't able to kind of like project or go any further, he looks back at you with a really mean look as you are able to kind of like sling him down to the ground. And Aurelia, do you sling him with any force? Do you like drop him gently? Do you just like smash him into the ground? What's the call here?
Is he good at being smashed into the ground? Is he like?
Does he like to be smashed?
No,
It's hard to. It's hard. So you don't really know how human biology works.
smashable?
You're pretty sure he is surviving G-forces that a normal human body absolutely couldn't. So you wager he's probably a fair bit hardier than your average human being.
Okay, so I would say she non-lethally smashes him.
Absolutely. You
Give him a good
smash down. The street craters somewhat. Jet hits the ground. And the camera kind of follows him shakily as his eyes wane somewhat. No. You won't. They won't. Jet. A shadow speaks as it kind of slowly hazes and Animus slides up out of the shadow behind him. Things have become untenable. There's a Nova squad inbound. We should retreat. They have, I am aware. However, this too will factor into the plan. So he says, I am not leaving him here with those dogs. You do not have a choice. And as he tries to sort of like lash out with a sling of a kick, the shadow leaps up and swallows them both. 5, you are tussling and smashing with Scylla still. Punches left, punch right. You get a good solid duck and get a nice decisive like body blow right to the middle of her. You can, again, flesh ripples a bit. There's a solid sonic impact. Boom. She stumbles back somewhat. So you can punch. But how much do you know?
I think Fives is kind of it's an irritated response. Like, of course you know I can fucking punch. And she'll come swinging in for another one.
You come and swing, and as you swing for what you're certain is her face, you miss. Hi. As she begins to slowly sink down into her own shadow. What? Why now? Why are we? No! And she swings at you again just before she is taken in by the shadow.
Give her the gator death roll.
I want to grab her tail and give her a little Nidicus, but you know.
If you want, you can grab her tail, but I'll let you know right now. It's just gonna snap off.
Oh yeah, true. That's fair. Might as well. Just take a souvenir, a little trophy.
You grab at the tail and give a heave. It pulls, and with this sort of rush of green ichor, comes away from her back, and she just, Gah! This isn't over. Before she is suddenly gone in shadow.
Yeah, but
and the
she's gonna
scene.
have a really cute tail stub.
And the scene slowly begins to grow quiet. Just as you can hear a whirring buzz of an inbound chopper or two, a Nova Aerodyne bringing a retrieval squad, slowly approaching the group.
But what about the ball?
We're getting there. We're getting there. I wanted if everybody wants to.
Okay.
Five, you just stop fighting Sailor. You look up and see Nova Aerodynes approaching. Any response? Same with Aurelia. You, as you are in the air still, you see Nova Aerodynes flying in inbound. Any immediate response?
I think Aurelia's gonna like look at them, but then draw her attention back to the orb that is going to a harbor.
Thankfully, the orb has stopped rolling. It seems like eventually it hit a shipping container. It hit something. It hit like a building, an empty warehouse, and like smashed through the wall. There's still some smoke rising from the debris, but you wager it hit hard enough that it probably stopped all of its force, and the dome itself probably just broke. And he's probably perfectly fine, but he's probably in that warehouse. You can see Cass and you can see, Hecate and Medusa sprinting towards.
Okay, then I guess with his safety, like, confirmed in that sense, Aurelia will just gradually fall down and wait for the people to come and do their job.
All right. Fives, anything from
Is
you?
Turncoat's knocked out body still on the ground, or
Yes.
did okay. Fives will move to secure Turncoat in that case.
You walk over and sort of stand over Turncoat, just as you can start to see them stirring a bit. What the?
Your team left you, so don't think about running.
What a shit day. And I think let's now cut over to our two running Dracos siblings. Cass and Mel, you make it into the dockyard. Cass, you see, while you look at the fence and remind you and think about your prior question you asked, you see, true to form, Mel hit the corner, come off of a storage crate and out in a corner of a building, and somersault with a clean back roll over the fence with no problem. It is honestly kind of impressive.
It's almost like she does this on a regular basis.
I assume you just portal your way through the fence with no issue.
Yeah.
The two of you make it towards the warehouse just as the orb crashes through the wall, kicking up dust and debris, which you have to charge yourselves through to get into. It is dark, even though there is a slow ray or two of the oncoming sun linking the barest bits of light into this otherwise dreary and dust-covered warehouse. The two of you are there, present, and you can kind of see where the orb ended up. The trail of debris is barely cast and illuminated by a light ray. How does the approach go? What do you do? What What do you say? Do you say anything to each other?
Uh, you said that you had the kid's name?
Yeah, it's Grayson. And Mel starts kind of picking over the debris and calling out his name, calling for Grayson. Grayson, can you hear me?
You're not hearing any response immediately, but you can feel free to keep picking through rubble and moving things as you can.
Shadow senses, and I'm gonna extend my senses through the darkness of the warehouse to feel for any like warmth in the cold.
You see him. Barely. You can feel that warmth tucked into a corner where, not too far from where a few shelves appear to kind of collapse and almost formed a sort of makeshift roof of debris. He's tucked into there.
Is it a tuck that he did on purpose? Or is it like
hard to tell? He's not
there's
trapped.
debris on top of him?
He's not trapped, no.
Okay. Then I think what Cass does is she pulls down her hood and she pulls up her mask. He's over here. Hey, I heard your name is Grayson. I'm Hecate. I'm here to
Grayson?
help.
Stay away from me. Stay away.
Neither of us want to hurt you. We wanted to make sure that you were okay. You came out of
You want
that.
to hurt my uncle?
No.
You can see a hand slowly come up from the debris, and slowly the small, again, umber tan skin, a messy mop of dark hair, and light green eyes, kind of, or I guess light gray eyes. Gray eyes, sorry, my bad. Kind of come out with a look of pure shock. What? Who? Who are you?
I'm Hecate. And I think you've already met Medusa.
He turns a little. Mel?
Yeah. Talked earlier today.
I remember.
Sorry I scared you earlier.
Everything is scary right now. Where's my uncle? Where's my Uncle Davis?
I didn't quite see, but it looks like he is with one of his friends. I don't know where they went.
Where is he? I need to get to him.
I don't know that. We can help you look.
He shrinks back a little bit. I don't. No, I'll find him myself.
Grayson, can I at least make sure that you're not hurt?
He kind of shrinks back a little bit.
I just want to make sure you don't have broken bones or a concussion. You haven't done anything wrong. I'm just worried about you.
You can see him kind of breathing a bit heavily as he kind of scoots back a little bit more.
I'm sure your uncle is okay. He's with his friends.
Shut up! Shut up! The breathing is increasing. Heavier and heavier. Definitely more labored.
Grayson, you want to do a cool breathing trick with me?
No. I just want my uncle.
We'll give you a minute, okay? And Hecate, Cass will stand up and take a few steps back.
The rubble above his head crumples a little.
Like it's gonna cave in on him?
In maybe a few minutes or so. Maybe less. It does shift, though.
Um, she'll cut a look to Mel and make eye. You know that thing where you like make eyes at something so they acknowledge it.
She nods. Then she'll give Grayson a minute to see if his breathing kind of regulates before.
It does not.
At the next sign of any of that rubble shifting, Cass would basically turn the shadows into like a flood of water to literally flush him out of the hiding spot before it collapses.
Mel, what are you doing in this moment?
She kind of gives Cass a disapproving look because she doesn't think that was the way to handle it yet. But
Well, she's not doing it yet, but
Mhm.
you can see her like starting to do the gestures that she does to move shadows, but you can see that her eyes are like locked on top of the debris.
Grayson, buddy, do you think we can find somewhere else for you to sit and
I'm
think?
I'm not I'm not going anywhere until I know Uncle Davis is safe. And as he says safe, the rubble shifts again. Much more seriously this time.
You need to come out. That rubble is gonna fall on you.
I'm going to give you
Just-
until the count of 3. I won't do anything besides move you to a safe spot.
Just
1.
go away. Just go away.
I can't do that, Grayson. 2.
Just
I'm sorry.
just-
3. And she'll pull the shadows from the far side. They make the sound of running water as they come together and gently push him through, lifting him high enough off the ground, but pulling him with enough force to slide him safely to be by her feet. And then she'll hold up her hands and try to take a few steps back.
Shadows gather just as morning light comes and allows a single ray to pierce through and illuminate the 3 people directly in this room. Aurelia, from your position above, you can see through the crashed warehouse into where you are. Fives, even from where you are, watching Turncoat or letting Turncoat go as Nova agents begin to apprehend them. You look into the warehouse and see shadows rush up under Grayson, I did it again, and push him towards Hecate. His breathing incessant and rapid, his face covered in sweat and tears. Leave me alone! His eyes go bright white. There is a flash of incandescent energy the likes even you, Aurelia, have never felt before. And in front of all of your eyes, you watch as Hecate is torn apart, atom by atom.
Is there enough time in that to say anything? Is it a dissolve?
There is.
It's not his fault. And that's it.
And she
I
is
think-
but dust.
I think 2 things happen here in the follow up. One is like Mel is gonna take Grayson really close and try to hug him and see if she can't get him to calm down and get this light to calm down because she doesn't know what it is and if what it is that caused that to happen. And the other is that she's gonna let out a scream. Very shrill, painful scream.
You wrap Drayson in your arms. Light dies down in his eyes. And he sobs
Covers
for many long, long moments.
ears first.
while you scream. And as you scream and cry out to the spot in the air where your sister used to be, Drayson sobs into your chest. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I hate to be dramatic, friends, but I think that is where we are going to end tonight's session. I want to thank you all for coming out to an incredibly potent and meaningful episode of Jump City Sirens, as one of our sirens appears to have been taken from the board. I could tell you long and many things about what's happened tonight, but instead, I think I'll simply let the future unfold. Who can truly know where it leads? Well, a voice seemingly cuts in out of nowhere. Who else but me? Obviously. I'm not sure where that came from, but I'll get someone in the studio on it immediately. While I work on that, let's go ahead and have our heroes say their goodbyes. We'll start in a bit of a different order than when we went last time, with someone who has simply suffered an incredible loss. It's Meg Mysteria.
Hi, I'm Megan or Meg Mysteria. I got to play Melina/Mel/Medusa Dracos. And, I just lost my sister. She's not missing. She's apparently dead. Ripped apart.
Atomized, baby. Reduced to atom.
Atomized.
Gone.
Nothing.
Well, I would say I'm sorry, but I don't like to lie to my friends.
At least my boyfriend's not a rock.
It's true. Well, pick your choice, rock boyfriend or Adam's sister. Anyway, my meaning aside, let's pass it over next to the one and only Ollie, Peach Senpai.
So, I think that's the first time I ever played a game where a character that is a homie dies. So, I'm happy I have therapy on Friday. Just kidding.
Oh, shit.
Just kidding.
I got it tomorrow.
Let's get it. Yeah, this I'm processing still. I have thoughts I will save to the end of session. But I'm Ollie or Ollie Peach Senpai. I played Aurelia or Morphine. She's kind of a mean girl. Stay tuned for her character arc. Hopefully it's coming soon because she's insufferable. R.I.P. Cass. It was nice. It was nice to stream with you and being your homie.
Maybe
Snow Globe.
Maybe watching someone you were just arguing with get atomized might change that. Might kickstart that arc into gear. We'll see what happens next episode. But before we get there, let's pass it over to, again, someone very near and dear to my own personal heart. It's, of course, Egg-chan.
I think you're muted, love.
Yes.
Whoopsies, that's awkward. It's me, Emily, or Egg-chan. You can find me as Egg-chan on Twitch or Egg-Space-chan on itch. I played fives. I have emotions and feelings and thoughts. And you can also find me here on Saturday for our Beacon game. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait to get some Beacon done. Hopefully there's less drama than what we experienced here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Happy to have you on board for the show, Fives, and happy to have pushed the ever-present pressure of Nova back on you again. Can't wait to do more of it next episode. But before we get to that, passing it over to someone who is departing from our screens, but not from our hearts. It is, of course, the one and only Legendary Vermin.
Hey, I'm here for a good time, but yeah, so I played Hecate, aka Cass, aka Cassandra Dracos. I love to be the Kickstart catalyst to a really good show, and I can't wait to watch the rest of the episodes. Y'all have so much to work with. If you want to check out more of what I do, I'm here. Well, I won't be here on this channel for quite a while because I'm about to have my first kid. But you can check out other stuff that I do over on itch.io. Legendary-vermin.itch.io is my itch page, and I will be hanging out in Neon Lights roleplay as often as I am able to be cogent. So, see y'all around, and good luck, cast.
And dare I say, we would not be the same NLR
Good luck,
without you,
cast.
nor will this group be the same with Cass's departure. But all of that and more will have to happen in the future. But of course, before we leave for the evening, I want to say a couple of wonderful things. First off, again, on behalf of all of us here at New Jump City Sirens and the Lights Roleplay, congratulations, Vermin. I wish you and your family nothing but joy, happiness, hope, and love. I may see your face one more time for one more stream before things happen, but if I don't, know that I am nothing but fucking happy for you, and I want nothing but the best for you. And send me fucking pictures, you better, goddammit. Secondly, and as has been urgently important to say for all of this month, women. Much more importantly, happy Women's History Month, Neon Lights. As you may have heard in several streams by now, we are in the middle of our charity battle royale against our rival org, Apochromatic Unlimited. We are giving support to Indigenous Women Rising. They are a collective reproductive organization ran by Indigenous women who help to support Indigenous communities with reproductive health, midwife services, education, resources, and more. They are an incredible org that we have done great work for before. Look forward to doing more now. We are also competing against our rival org. So if you feel comfortable, please hit the !NLRWHM during any of our streams this month and donate to either ourselves or Apochromatic Unlimited. The winner at the end of the month gets bragging rights. And we're winning by a whole lot, so maybe, go ahead over to Apochromatic Unlimited and donate to them. But say you got sent, put in the message that you came from Neon Lights just so they really know about it, so we can really put the dub over top of them. Do it with purpose, but give some charity. It's for a good cause. Much more seriously, I want to take a moment to just thank everybody here. The chat's been incredibly active and hyped for a really, really meaningful and powerful episode for all of us. My players have been so collaborative and so cooperative, and I have had just the best time tonight. And we also ended on time, so look at that. And in the interest of not taking ourselves too much further over time, and in the interest of not keeping me babbling on your screens any further, I will simply say that I want to remind you all that the future is only made by those who seek progress. And even though many walls will be put in front of you, you, and I mean you, have the power to knock all of them down. So get out there and show them what the fuck you are made of. This has been Neon Lights Roleplay. We have been Jump City Sirens, and you have all been incredible. Have a wonderful night, guys.